Welcome to episode 54 of Around the Board, recorded on December 8th, 2024. This is a show where four board game enthusiasts discuss board games and board game topics. With upcoming Christmas season, well, we're going to be recording our last episode of the year, and it's all about Christmas and our Christmas list and what cookies we'll be leaving out for Santa.
Snickerdoodle.
So, without further ado, here are your hosts, Daniel on the Shelf Connors, John the Red-Nosed Theismann, Chris Ebenezer Thomason, and Frosty Andy Barnett. Now join us, won't you, around the board.
So Daniel is absolutely getting cold for Christmas because Snickerdoodles suck.
No, what?
Oh, what?
Those are actually pretty good.
Those are
pretty
fighting
good.
words. The Snickerdoodle is the best cookie. I don't even understand what you're
that is
coming at me with
absolutely
right now,
false.
Chris. Yeah, I don't even know how
That's
to
a
respond
hot
to
take
this.
that I can't agree with, Chris. I'm sorry.
Well, I think they both went too far. It is not the best, but it's a nice break when you
I
get
never
the
said it's
really
the best,
sweet
but it's
stuff.
not
Well,
bad.
Daniel said it's the best. and
Well,
that's-
what's the best
I
cookie,
can't go
then?
that far. No,
Best
What's the best cookie?
but it's good. But it's
Peanut
good.
butter. Peanut butter's the
Chocolate
best.
Okay, well, I'll give you peanut butter.
No,
I will
just
come down on my
frosted sugar
Snickerdoodle.
cookies. Frosted sugar cookies for Christmas.
Are you
That's what you get.
5, John?
No,
Yes.
And you put
Frosted
red hots on them. You got to have the red hots on.
Oh
them.
my gosh. Here we go.
Those are amazing.
That's
Soft.
Yep,
Soft
that's what Santa
chocolate
likes.
chips
He
number
eats them
one.
all at my house.
But
I'm gonna
frosted
tell ya.
sugar cookies with the little sugar crystals on top, I will agree is a close number two.
Yeah.
Those
There
are
you
What,
go.
what was your number one, Chris?
Oh, chocolate chip, soft chocolate chip. It's
Oh.
Oh, okay.
It's-
That's
I'm-
good. That's
no,
better than
I'm actually-
Snickerdoodle. I'll tell you.
I have a soft spot for those ones. I can't remember what they're called. They come in the bag, and they're like in the shape of like either a tree or a bell or
Those
a
are
wreath.
good. They're
You
like
know
a
what
I'm
buck in a
talking about?
bag, and they're really good.
Yeah, they
Oh, I
come
know
in
what you're talking about. Those are good. Yeah.
yeah. I don't even know what brand they are, but I just remember
I
getting
don't
them a
either.
lot as a kid from my grandma, and I was like, well,
Yeah.
this is Christmas.
Are they
Yeah.
like minty?
No.
No, not those things. I think I know what you're talking about, though. My nephew
Yeah.
really likes that. But, Chris, if you think sugar cookies are their number 2, close to number 1, I think Andy needs to relinquish the Eating Like a Child award to you two, because that's the
It's
most childish
Christmas.
thing I've seen.
It's Christmas. You're a kid again. Give me a
They
break.
have to
I'm
be
all
good.
grown up.
They're not all the same. Like there's ones you can buy that like are pre-made with the frosting at the factory, and those things are trash. Absolute
Yes.
trash.
Can we all
But
agree?
homemade ones with like real good frosting are fantastic.
Can
Very
we
good.
all agree that those loft is it Loft House the
Loft House cookies, yes.
the
There
thick
goes the sponsor.
the thick ones the thick
Yes.
doughy ones with the sugar on can we all agree that's terrible? Those are terrible.
I think
Yeah.
those
They're
are the
good
ones I'm talking
sometimes.
No, they're awful. They're horrible. What a waste.
Well, you know, I think the viewers should let us know what their favorite cookie is, and maybe
That's a
if
good
they
idea.
agree with one of us, maybe we get points on the next show.
Ooh, maybe.
Ooh, I like
Ooh.
it.
Maybe.
I like it.
All right. Well, this episode we're reverting back to our tried and true format of coming up with top 10 games, right? Right, John? Is that tell us more
Well,
about
yes,
it?
it is a top 10 list. Yes. And it's a little different than some of our other lists.
Oh.
And it's Christmas themed. Okay. And we all want, I mean, we're gamers. We all want board games for Christmas. I mean, is that true or is that not true? That's couldn't be more true.
Well, actually,
But-
it's not true for me this year, but that's okay.
Okay. Well, you might want them, but you might not get them.
I'm
That's
a
you, that's
Grinch.
you.
I'm purging right
So-
now. So.
So, well, here we go. We'll see what's on your list then. But what we're going to do is, since we want board games for Christmas, we're going to put them on a list. But what else do you need besides board games as a gamer? You need people to play games with you. So these games aren't just what you want. They have to pass muster with the rest of the squad here. So we all have 2 vetoes where we can veto anyone's game that's being put on the list. And so basically, you, the viewer, at the end of this list, you should have 10 curated games that you should know, despite maybe the tastes of the gamer you're looking at, these are good games to get for that person, because we have varied tastes on this show. And if this passes all of our vetoes, they should be games that just about any gamer would want, is my view on it. So this is going to be
Potentially.
a
I don't
great
know.
list.
I got to be honest, though, when you started saying, like, what do we want beside games? We want people. I was thinking, oh, no, we're getting into human trafficking here on the show, and we can put people on the list.
I guess
So,
you could.
I'll take Uwe. No.
Oh, man.
Get me Stefan Feld all day.
I'd go with T Swift, but I'm already on tour with her. So
I was going to say,
That's
where's
right.
the Taylor Swift episode?
Ooh.
Yeah,
I
how's
just
that
thought of a-
pandemic legacy going?
it's great. We're on number 2. I've been to 5 shows. I'm not Kelsey. Played some football with him. It's been great.
I
Hey,
just
the
thought
Eras
of a,
tour's over now. You should have plenty of time.
I just thought of a great Christmas horror board game movie. where we kidnap board game designers and make them design us games. And if they don't do well enough, we torture them or something with Christmassy things.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nothing says
Torture
Christmas
with
like
Christmas.
torture.
Like,
Impressive.
what is that?
You know
Put a stake of mistletoe through their heart.
Eat
Didn't
some
they talk
more of
about
those
that?
crappy cookies.
Yeah.
Come on, Feld.
Here's a snickerdoodle. But
Boil
no,
them in their own pudding.
exactly.
I
I
want
will
better
say, though,
worker
actually-
placement.
So being real here, actually, because we did talk about it through production and all the different stuff, pre-production and stuff like that. But I will say that the pitch that you just had, John, I feel like this actually might be our most valid top 10 list, because
Thank you.
it is the idea that, like, yes, first of all, they're games that are cool, but also they do have to pass the test of a varied audience of the four of us, right? So, like, if
Mhm.
you have these, there's probably a good chance they're probably going to go over well with people, because they're passing the muster test of 4 different people have very different views. So that's a good point.
Yes.
So once
Very good.
again,
Exactly.
the clarification here, the criteria, if you will, for this is games that you want that you don't have.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. And I will say, John, I wish you were at a last meeting, because I feel like
Uh-oh.
my list might be a little different than what you described.
Really?
Okay.
So these are games you have
these no, these are just
Okay.
games that I want.
that you want. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys want them.
Well, we
Well, I
might
mean-
veto them then. That's
Right,
all.
but
You're
that's the
used to
whole
that.
point, right? That's the whole point, is that, like, there's tons of games that I
Sure.
want that I never buy because I know that you schmucks are not going to play with me.
Okay, all right. Let's figure this out. Let's
This is
find
gonna
out
be-
if I have good picks or
I have
not.
a feeling this is going to get very violent quickly. So
I
Absolutely.
think the
buckle
way
up, buckle up,
I
kids.
think the way we usually start is Randy rolls a die or something to tells us who goes first.
And it's usually Chris.
It's
That
usually
is
Chris, but
true.
we'll find out.
I am exceedingly lucky in this situation.
Roll the die. Roll the die.
Oh,
Daniel's up first.
What?
I might have a
Wow.
chance. Should I
Okay.
go with one I know is going to get vetoed, or one that actually has a chance of succeeding?
How do you spell veto again?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I forgot my veto cards.
Oh my gosh.
VIDO.
Ah.
Veto.
Hey,
All right.
Daniel's only been sitting there for an hour.
I know, right? I really have. Sorry, give me a second.
That's all right.
Here we
we'll
go.
erase this part.
No, we
Edit
won't. We
this
should keep
part.
this in. Keep this in, and we'll start singing some Christmas songs.
Yeah, and actually, I can tell the viewers. So, as you notice, I'm very not in Christmassy thing right now.
Didn't notice.
A couple things. It's been
Didn't
busy,
notice.
busy
I'm
day.
back, baby.
I didn't know they were actually going to dress up, so I didn't put on my elf shirt, or I would have. And then also, I recently changed my internet provider, and I've not updated the smart bulbs for my background. So I was going to go all nice red and green, but they're not there because I couldn't figure it out. The app was, like, unbelievably difficult. So, I couldn't figure it
pretend
out.
Not a
that you're
sponsor.
seeing.
So pretend, as usual, pretend Chris is jolly and friendly.
Correct.
Exactly.
It'll make the episode go much smoother.
All right. Well, speaking of going smooth, let me start this off with a banger of a choice. Okay, this is going to be. All right, this is the one. Okay, guys, one of my
one.
favorite games of all time is Time's Up. It is a party game for the entire family. If you like pop culture stuff, because they have like movie references and famous people references. But I have noticed that this game, and if you haven't played it, it's kind of like you have to guess what's on the card, and there's 3 segments for it. Like the first one, you can say whatever you want. Second one, you just use one word, and then the third round, you only use actions. A lot of fun. I highly recommend it. But while it
Is
is
that your
fun for
game?
the whole, no. While it's fun
Oh,
for the
okay.
whole family, sometimes there are a few things that are a little challenging for the younger folks. So that is why, for this Christmas, I want Time's Up Family Edition. That's right. They made a Time's Up to where it had objects around the house. So it's not like famous stars or culturally relevant stuff. Instead, it's like, you have to act out like the kitchen sink or a shovel, things that kids actually are going to know and are be exposed to. So Time's Up.
Yeah, my
one of
kids
the best
love
games out
shovels.
there. Well, if there was snow,
Dad, can
they
we
would
play
love
with the
it.
shovel again? No.
I mean, that does
Until you
sound
do your
like a weird
homework.
situation.
Go play with the
All right.
vacuum and be happy.
You know what I mean? They know these things. It's around the house. They've experienced it.
Instead of like
They
Gone
don't
with the
know-
Wind or Tyler
Exactly.
Perry. Yes. Gotcha.
Exactly. So there you go. Time's Up Family Edition.
Now, is that actually
What do
is
you
that
guys got?
actually a thing, or is this you're making this up?
Yeah, it's actually on my Christmas list too.
Okay.
So why
So,
did you
oh,
think
actually,
this? Okay.
That's a great question by Andy, because the way that you said it, you're like, well, I had a very different list. I was like, well, maybe he made these up. So okay,
That's what I was wondering. Exactly.
good question, Andy.
Well, I will say I've never seen this in person. I've only seen them online. But then I went to Game Nut, which is in Lawrence, and they actually had a copy
Not a
of it.
sponsor.
I was like, I've never seen this before. Yet we're working on them.
Okay.
Not really, but maybe one day. Okay, what do you guys got? Give me your yeses. All right,
I got approved.
flip them.
'Cause I
Approved.
figured,
A is
Andy would
accept.
probably. He's still thinking what you're.
Approved!
Woo!
Oh, you put that garbage on there, Andy? What
I
the
like
heck?
Time's Up. I like Time's Up.
Oh, but it's
Some of my
I
most
should have
joyous,
vetoed.
some of my most joyous occasions have been playing Time's Up.
I will
Wow.
say, Family Edition initially made me want to veto it immediately, but then I was like, oh wait, it's Time's Up. It's a family game anyways because it's a party game. So sure.
Yeah. Wow. So the excess celebration, guys, is I don't think I've ever had a game on one of these lists. No, that's
Not
a
the
little
first one, for
exaggeration,
sure.
but not my first one. So that's a record for me. So
I'm very disappointed in Andy. That's why I didn't veto it. I thought for sure he would.
Tis the
but-
season.
I
Tis the
knew
season
Andy.
of
I thought
giving.
Andy was the only one that was going to say yes. He loves Time's Up. All right, John,
do.
let's move this along. Pick
Wow.
your next game.
I like
just-
Time's Up,
just
but
to-
that I would never play that Time's Up.
Just to
Family Edition.
clarify, this list is not necessarily family friendly.
No.
No.
It's
No,
not
but that one is.
necessarily.
In other
That
words,
one
you
just
didn't
happens
have
to be.
to approve this one, but you did. Anyway,
You know, John, you're the one that doesn't like to use your veto, so maybe you need to get on board and start actually going with your heart instead of relying on everybody else gaming the
I just-
system.
point well taken. All right, so we'll go on to my first one here. I didn't know which one I wanted to do first. I'm going to go with this one because it's one. Okay, it's Survive the Island. Okay, I don't know if you guys have seen this one be
Like the
released
game that's
recently,
like 40 years old.
but well, here's the thing. There was Survive that came out in 1982.
Okay.
I bought this game, the original game. We played it until it literally fell apart.
Because he's that
And-
old, ladies and
That's
gentlemen.
right.
That old.
That's right. We played it till it fell apart,
because it's that good.
and it's that good.
Nah.
Right.
And then the
Poorly
new one
made.
came out like in 2018 or something like that. A newer one came out, and I bought that one, and it's even better. It's got the big clunky parts of the island that I don't know if you're familiar with Survive, where you have the island of tiles and they're different terrain. And in the new one, the different terrains are different heights, so it's really cool. The mountains are higher than the beaches and all that, and you put your people on there, and the
That came out
mountains.
way before 2018.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it did. You're probably right. It's probably about 2015 or 2012 or something like that.
I think it
Anyway.
was like 2000, early
It
2000s.
should
No,
have been
I don't think it was that long ago.
because it was the 30th anniversary edition. So
There you go.
Ooh.
Okay, well,
And
anyway,
so
there's a
anyway,
new one.
So anyway, there's a new one now called Survive the Island, and I don't really feel like I should buy it because I own the other one. So, but if somebody gifted it to me, that's why it's perfect for this list. I probably would not buy this because I have Survive. But this one's a little bit different. They have kaiju, they have land monsters that look like Godzilla. They're going to be on the island, and I think they have like treasure you can grab. So it would give you extra points. You get to the shore with treasure and this guy, maybe it gives you an extra point along with your whatever points are on your guy. So if you're not familiar, there's numbers on the bottom of your people. And we always played where you didn't know what numbers were on what people. So you didn't have a boat with your three biggest ones go down early in the game and know you're going to lose because that's a drag, you know? So you could have like two guys on the shore and you might have a chance to win. So it's a great game. It's fun for the whole family and it plays quick. And so Survive the Island, wouldn't buy it for myself, but I would like it as a gift. So that's
I have
my
a real quick question
nomination.
actually here. So are you saying you
Yes.
didn't play like did you play with the numbers, like meaning like they all were worth one, or you had to like actually play memory of where?
No, we played where you just mix them up. You don't know which one's which. Yeah, you use the numbers at the end, but you don't know which one of your guys are worth more than others.
I
So-
don't like that one at all. This is the. Oh, I was gonna say that I hate the memory aspect of any sort of a game. This is the only one that I have any sort of affinity to appreciating the remembering where your 3 is and your 2 is and your 1 is. But
Yeah.
I will
But I
say
mean, that's just the way we played. You don't have to play that way.
sure.
you know.
Well, but I got to think. I thought I misinterpreted and thought you were saying they all were worth the same amount. And I was like,
No, that's
interesting
no good.
wrinkle to that game as well, because now you're really caring about all of them, right? So,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting. Interesting.
Okay.
Okay. Are we ready to
What
vote?
do you guys
vote.
think?
Let's vote.
Everyone, get
I'm
up.
giving it a.
Oh,
What?
giving it
Oh
a
my
veto.
gosh!
Yeah.
Two people burnt their vetoes on that one.
Fantastic.
Wow.
I
There
Now,
you
know.
only
go.
one of us has
It
to
was
use
worth
it,
it.
right? Only one of us has to use it.
Correct.
Nope, we both lose it.
No, no.
Part of the reason
No,
you're
you
all
both
supposed
used
to
them.
put it up once and flip over at the same time.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
ridiculous.
No,
That's
listen,
ridiculous.
listen, John. So this is Christmas, man. Like what do you want for Christmas? A game that's been out for like 30 years,
This is brand
that's
new.
been in production
It's
like
brand new.
20,000 times. No, everybody has Survive. Like, you don't
Do you
need this
have
on
it?
a Christmas list. Yeah, I've had it before.
You don't have it.
So whatever.
I do have it, and I don't want it. So there you go. It's fine.
Fair enough.
There's nothing terrible about it, but there's nothing grand about it either. There's nothing that makes me want to have
Is
it on
there
a
something
list.
grand about Time's Up Kids Edition?
Oh yeah, there is. It's not
Family
kids edition, it's
edition.
family
Because
edition.
you want to
Family.
guess what a fork is. I understand.
Shovel.
Or a fork.
Or fork could be the same action. See, the humor writes itself.
Well,
That's right.
John, if you get a Christmas Miracle and you get it under your tree somehow, I will play it with you.
One thing I want to do before we go to Chris. Okay. I had something I want to say to Chris, and I'm wanting Daniel and Andy to hold, instead of what they are wont to do with their smart aleck comments, just be quiet for a little bit, because Chris, I need to talk to you.
Okay.
Because our
Gosh.
first top 10 list that we ever did
Uh-huh.
was the top 10 desert island games.
Okay.
And if you have never seen that out there, you're the viewers, go back and watch this. Chris is having a blast during this episode. Okay. This is like
yeah.
Chris's dream list of games.
Right.
And it gets all the way down to the last one. And I think I'm the only one with a veto left. And Chris puts up some game. I can't remember what it was now. And I veto it. And if you can see his dauber go down during that, and you can see how much this affected him. And Chris, I just got to say, if I'd have known how much that was going to affect you, I would have relished that veto so much more than because wow, that
it
just took Chris
absolutely
from
wrecked me.
to oh my god.
It wrecked me because of like the meta of like stuff that like I think you viewers have finally like over time have understood kind of how our group is and how our interactions with one another, each other, and all of our inside jokes. But like there was this one year where we only played Daniel's games and all stuff and or whatever.
True.
And so like I was just like, hey, I'm stuck on an island forever with these jamokes. This is gonna be awful. Well, at least I could try to make the best of it playing some board games, right? And we go 1 through 9, and I'm like, each one of these games are awesome. I can't wait to play all of them. And I was like, it was like the moment of destiny. I was like, okay, cool. I want this to happen. I'm sorry that I'll like won't see my wife and kid anymore. But like this would be the apex if this 10th game could be great, and then it wasn't. And I was just like, okay, whatever.
That game was unmatched. It was unmatched. It was Andy gave me one because I didn't get it because I didn't get a single one on that list. But let's not talk about that list. Let's talk
Okay.
about
Anyway, Chris, let's hear your first one on this one.
All right. So, sorry, I had to pull back up. Okay. So, my first game is Nemesis. This is a game that I actually personally almost bought recently myself. But again, it was like I was talking about before. I didn't buy it because it's fairly expensive, at least by my means, right? To get into it, it's like $150. Again, that's expensive for me. I'm a humble man, I'm a humble poor man. I'm sorry for all you, people making a rain out there with $500 Kickstarters, but whatever. And so I didn't buy it because, again, I was worried about the group. So I have a feeling that this is probably going to get vetoed, but it is what it is. For the whole reason that I didn't buy it is because it's probably going to be vetoed. It's really a big rules overhead. It also has to be for people that you have to want to be part of a survival horror sci-fi game. Like if that's what you want, that game is it in aces. But that includes like very early on player elimination, because if you watch a survival horror film, someone dies in the first 5 minutes, right? And then it's someone that you didn't expect that makes it to the end, right? So, but with that said, like it sounds like super simple, but there's a lot of rules overhead, a lot of details, but it's a really fun game. I've always been intrigued by it. It's definitely something I want to get played someday. Maybe I have to do it at a convention because of it. But either the original or I can't remember the name, the one that came out, kind of second edition that came. There you go. That came out a couple years ago. Either one of those. So my game is Nemesis because that game just seems like incredible amounts of fun.
Okay. Let's see those votes, guys. Are we ready?
Nope.
I'm going to let it through.
Where's Andy's vote?
Uh-oh. He approves it. All right. John, you vetoed.
Yes.
I knew John was
Are
going
you
to veto.
kidding me? Give me a break.
I saw that
what
in
a
his eyes.
what a sell on that game. It's rules heavy and it's
I mean,
I'm
it
gonna
is.
get
people
It's
to
a big
play.
commitment, and again, that's the reason I didn't buy it. It's expensive. It's a big commitment. I'm not sure that you guys have, the brain power for it. And
See, that's not giving it the hard sell, Chris.
And so it's just like whatever. I was,
But
real
John,
real excited. So.
That's the kind of game I want to see under my tree. A rare game that's big and bulky, not some little like game
Not
that's
something
been out
that'll
for
get
30
played.
years. Yeah, no. Definitely not.
Andy, are you with us? Can
What
you
you
do
got,
your
Andy?
next one?
I am with you. Did I ever leave you or anything?
Yes,
Yeah,
you
you
did.
left
That's,
us.
that's all right.
Oh, I didn't know that. Didn't mean to leave.
Andy, you would have vetoed that if you had one left, huh?
I would have, but I do have one left. What
Yes.
we get 3 of them, right?
We had two.
You had 2.
Only 2. Oh my gosh. Okay, I had one left, but I would have vetoed it. But I knew John would pull through for me there. So
I'm saving my last one from an Andy trick taker game, but go ahead.
Might be it.
Mine is going to be a game that I've played a few times that I don't own, and I don't know why I don't own it, but I don't own it. But it's one that came out just fairly recently, 2021, and it's a simple game. I would say it's a gateway game, and it's fun for the whole family. It's always a good time, and that would be Cascadia. Cascadia. I would love to see that under my tree. Have you guys played Cascadia?
I have.
I haven't. I heard good things about it.
Little abstract, little bit of pattern building, but it's a lot of fun. I like it. You
can go a different direction each time you play it. That's one thing about it. You can, lean heavy into bears or into, whatever else.
And there's a
Eagles,
couple of expansions. The way things score is interesting. So
it's true.
Cascadia is mine.
It is a legitimate game.
And yeah, the quickest pick so far. Good job, Andy. All right, ready? Go. I'll let it through.
Everybody approved. There you go, Andy.
Oh, look at me. See, I'm not controversial at all. Not controversial in the least.
Yeah, I think what helps that one, even though it's so abstract, that it plays pretty quick too. So it's like,
it does.
You kind of go a direction, hope it works, see if it works out for you. If it doesn't, you're not sitting there agonizing for an hour. You're like, well, it didn't work. Oh, well, let's play again.
Have you played with Andy? He agonizes every.
Well, that's true. I didn't play with Andy, so
yeah.
Okay, change my opinion.
The real question is whether I agonize more or whether other people agonize because of my agonize. You know what I'm saying?
Something.
Yeah.
All right. So, like I said, I think I came from this list maybe a little differently than John did and Andy did. So this one is more along the lines of Chris. Like, it's something that you wanted, but it's either out of print or kind of expensive, and it would be a great Christmas gift. And this one's not a big footprint, but it is out of print, which makes it a little more costly than it should be. And that is Blood Bowl Team Manager. Now, before you guys start rolling your eyes about Blood Bowl, listen, Team Manager is a completely different game than Blood Bowl. It's a lane battling game. You're actually battling lanes, much like, what's that one that you like, Andy? Like Battle Line, I think it's called?
Battle Line is a card game by
there you go.
Good Doctor.
Yeah, it's very similar to that. You have these different fields. You're playing football players on either side of there. When you play their ability, they might like tackle the other person, so it like spins them down, so they become less powerful. It's this really clever card placement game. Really, it could be like NFL theme. I think if they just got that IP, it would just sell like through the roof because it is a pretty solid game that doesn't require the Blood Bowl theme, but does. And because it does, that's why it's out of print. So Blood Bowl Team Manager is on my wish list.
So this is like a standalone game, not Blood Bowl.
100% standalone. You could. It's a card
about
game.
Space Kittens, and it would be just the same. It is
Yes.
absolutely thrown on like theme.
Yeah.
So they just gave it that theme to limit their audience of who might buy it.
Exactly.
Apparently.
Because
Makes
Fantasy
sense.
Flight loves limiting their audience to IPs.
That's genius.
I'm looking it up here, and it does definitely have a longer playtime than Battle Line, but it's not anywhere near like Blood Bowl range. It's saying
correct.
60 to 120 minutes.
It's more like Bloodline than it is like Blood Bowl.
It's funny because I've seen this for sale and for trade and stuff, and I always just assumed it's what you use to play Blood Bowl. I never thought it was a standalone game. So
has nothing to do with it in any way, shape, or form.
That's amazing.
All right.
And unlike Battle Line, it looks like you can play it 4 players too.
You can, exactly. See, we can all play this out of print rare game that is highly rated, mind you. Very high.
All right.
All right. What we got? Flash them.
1, 2, 3.
Three approves. There you go. I was at a veto until you explained it.
Yeah, it's a good thing you explained it because
I had to. I saw your guys' eyes flash, and I was like, no. Listen here.
I'm like, dang, I'm using my second veto already.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna jump in here. I only approved this because I knew those two were gonna veto it.
What?
I'm the Blood Bowl guy. I'm the guy who evangelized Blood Bowl to, I guess, just Daniel because these other guys are idiots. But so it is like my initial passion. It was like my first game, other than Catan.
Yeah,
like Catan. It was very early on. I was playing in a league when I was like 15, and I owned Blood Bowl Team Manager. and I
so
sold it because it
no,
sucks. It's not
no.
good. It's not fun. And I feel like it's only expensive because it's out of print, and it's like this idea that it's the grail that you gotta have, but then when you get it, you realize it actually kills you, like in Last Crusade.
Oh yeah,
This
very good
game-
comparison.
This game
This
is not any good.
this is a worse take than your sugar cookie take. Okay, this is just no. You're just or Snickerdoodle being hating on Snickerdoodle. Just whatever, man. I'm glad it's under the tree, and get this for any gamer out there, and they will appreciate what you've done for them.
So I think we've got a flaw in our rules here. I've decided we have a flaw.
Here we go.
And maybe I should have pointed this out before, but if we have multiple vetoes, I think one of them should be able to be saved, because otherwise we would have had this would have been vetoed. Chris would have vetoed it. So
yeah,
the only reason he didn't.
So with Daniel's first game, because I thought you were going to veto it.
No,
so that's why I didn't veto it. This is everybody. This is Andy playing any game.
Correct.
Yep.
Where it's
I'm changing the rules. I'm changing the rules. All of a sudden,
the rules went against me. Now we need to change the rules, or let's clarify the rules. So
that's right.
All right.
Let me see the rule book, Andy. Let me see it.
It's a risk when you use your veto. So,
right.
Well, John, what do you got? Add some to this list.
I've got another one that's a remake of an older game, but I'm not going to use that one yet. I'm going to use this one.
Survive. You've already used that.
The other Survive. No, it's this one might surprise you guys, but it's Unconscious Mind from Fantasia Games. You probably heard of it. 2024 release, just came out not too long ago. Here's why it might surprise you. The weight is 3.94, which does not sound like a John game at all. But it does play. But it does play in like 2 hours, so that's not bad. But this game is gorgeous. Have you guys seen this game? This game is beautiful.
It's wonderful.
And it looks, from the way I've seen it played, it looks very thematic for a Euro game, especially for a heavy Euro game. I mean, Euro games can be thematic, like how Godfather is thematic, but it's not real heavy Euro-ish. You know what I'm saying? It's got Euro elements, but it's not some big heavy Euro game. Whereas this seems pretty heavy, but it's worker placement, which one of my favorite mechanics. So that's one of the mechanics involved in it. But your workers are your ideas. So you're trying to come up with ideas, use your ideas to generate treatment for your patients. And you're going around the city of Vienna. It takes place back in the time of Sigmund Freud. And your patients are these cards that have an overlay on them, which represents their illness, their mental illness. And when you cure them, the overlay comes off and they give you an on-lasting effect for the rest of the game because, you cured somebody. So it's like, it really looks cool. And everything I've heard about it has been great reviews. I've seen playthroughs of it, what have you. So Unconscious Mind is my next, it's literally on my Christmas list. So if you want to get me this would be awesome. What do you guys think?
All right, let's see.
It does look well. We can vote first, then we'll talk about it. Yeah.
Chris is really pondering what he should do.
He's thinking about this one. He says it's
3.9
the game and looked at it.
Says it sounds too pretty and too thematic. Let's see. What do you guys got for me?
Well, I do love how you made a Euro sound as thematic as possible.
Hey, there we go.
Hey,
Chris.
it made it on the list.
There we go. What do you mean? Do you not think it looks that way, or? And
no,
Daniel, do you not think
everything you said is fine. It's just funny because usually when people are like, "Hey, this is a really good Euro game," they explain the mechanics of the Euro game.
Oh, I got.
But you're like, "This is a really good Euro game. Here's the theme."
Yes, it's true. I did say worker placement, but that's just a small part of it, I think. But yeah.
You know what sold me as I was looking through the pictures? There's little teacups.
Oh, there you go.
Cute little teacups.
Andy loves teacups.
I guess so. I don't know. They just look so wonderful, so lovely. So do you play as Sigmund Freud, or do you
I don't think so. I think you play as one of his contemporaries, or maybe one of his students or something. I don't know. Maybe somebody learning from him.
Interesting.
Don't know
it does look very interesting. I'm actually,
really good.
I gotta get this one played now and gotta check it out.
Yeah.
Well, if I get it, let's play it.
It's been on my radar. I'll be happy to play this one too.
Cool.
All right, Chris.
I'll be interested to play and talk about this game.
Okay.
All right.
I approved it because it's too early to veto.
Oh my gosh.
I saw the picture and it looks not like a game for me.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with a game again. Like I said, let's go. Like now, man. See, this is so difficult, right? Because Daniel going for the games that are big and expensive, but like now you're like kind of being a jerk and like forcing people to buy you really expensive games, right? So like,
I got high taste. Come on.
There is that, but like the game I'm about to throw out, it's probably the most expensive game that's in print.
Wow.
I guess is technically a Kickstarter. I mean, it very much is, but it's not your typical Kickstarter.
Okay.
Okay.
And the game definitely is polarizing amongst the community as a whole for a lot of reasons.
Night
my.
Shift.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
it's got to be.
Not Night Shift. This is actually a real game I would want to play. And that is Kingdom Death Monster. The premise of the campaign of the game is interesting to me. I actually kind of really enjoy like the aesthetic, how they like actually it's kind of changed like my view on even role playing, the way that you build like the table, if that makes sense. The fact that it's just a giant kind of circle or whatever, and it's actually led to a channel I follow called Professor or Dungeon Craft, and he uses circles. It doesn't matter. That's a whole role playing thing I won't go into. But
Thank you.
But the actual premise of the game, I actually kind of enjoy. I do think it's interesting. I understand it's polarizing for a lot of reasons to a lot of people, but like I actually think the game would be a lot of fun. So it is also extremely expensive, if you guys don't know. And when you go to Gen Con, you try to get in that booth, it's difficult because the people who love this game love this game. And it's been going on for a number of years, and it's hard to believe that a game that's got that much hype continually for year after year after year isn't any good. It's hard for me to believe. So I'm still not ready to pull the trigger myself because I have a lot of other game like legacy lifestyle games that I'm playing already. But if I was in need of one, it's definitely the one I'd be spending my money on, which is a big.
Chris, I just realized this is like the DCC of board games.
Sure.
Dungeon Classic Crawls of board games.
Now you got me saying it. Dungeon Crawl Classics. So.
Detective
okay,
Comics
gotcha.
Classics.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. All right, are we voting?
We're voting.
Let's do this. I'm in.
Oh,
for this.
Andy, we
Hey.
both burned vetoes on it.
Fantastic.
Listen, I would have vetoed that one too, but I just was like, there's no way them two are letting this one pass. So I was going to say,
Oh, no.
I saw the words horror, cooperative, and 3 hours, and I said, no, please.
no.
I couldn't depend on Andy anymore. I had to go at it myself, so that stinks that we both did it.
Yeah, Chris has all the control now. I have one that I have to use
There you go.
wisely.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Andy, bring us back on the tracks here.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get another game on that list, hopefully. And I'm going to go with a game that I have played a few times that I've always enjoyed playing. I've just never, for some reason, got it in my collection yet. And that would be Blood Rage. Blood Rage is a fun game with some neat minis. It's area control, and I really like it. I've enjoyed it. It's Ragnarok. That's the theme, and you've got
Like Thor?
area influence, area majority. You've got card play, conflict resolution. Like Thor, exactly. Just like the Norse.
Cool.
You got all the Norse gods and stuff, and it's a fun game. Every time I played it, I've enjoyed it. So there you have it. It's Blood Rage from 2015.
Right. I mean, it's no chaos in the old world, Chris. But what are we doing? I like it. I own it on my shelf, and it kind of fits that category of it being like in a Kickstarter and stuff too,
Let's
because
see
you
what
can
Chris
really
says.
go crazy with that one.
Is,
All right,
John,
Chris.
is John not putting up his feelings just for fun because he's out of vetoes?
I
Or-
don't have a veto. I don't have a
Okay,
veto.
so
left.
I just didn't know if we were still putting it up for fun, but
Oh,
We should
I
put it up
gotcha.
for fun.
we're absolutely getting rid of this
Oh.
one because every single moment of playing this game, I'd be like, why aren't we playing Chaos in the Old World? Because it's so much better.
Oh my gosh,
Mm.
Chris, that might be your worst
much
veto
better.
ever. That might be your worst veto ever.
I think that was spite out of what we just did to him.
No, it's because I really don't like Blood Rage.
No,
Like,
this
it
is actually
sucks
100%
compared to
Chris.
Chaos in the-
Yeah, he has said this
Yeah.
before.
Yeah,
Mm.
but Chris, you're gonna regret using that veto. Just
That's fine.
just gonna throw that out there now.
boy. Oh, no.
All right.
We've never
So,
been in this bad a shape. Any other
Since
top 10 list.
since Andy and John are out of this, I feel a little more freedom about what to pick here. So I'm gonna pick one that Chris is gonna be on board with, and again, it's gonna be one of these big, full-blown Kickstarter games that have one of the best themes out there, and that is Star Trek. It's not a Star Trek game because
Hasn't this been on a list before for you?
they couldn't
Yes.
get the IP for it. No.
It got
listen.
nominated.
You're thinking of Ascendancy, Star Trek Ascendancy, and he's not.
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
not
is that what
this.
it is?
Yeah,
Oh, gosh. Okay.
I'm building up. Okay, this is not Star Trek IP. It's not even Star Trek adjacent like
Oh, okay. My bad.
Rebellion or like Outer Rims is to Star Wars, John.
Yeah. Yeah,
This
exactly.
this is ISS Vanguard. It's from Mystic Realms, right? Isn't that what they're called? I looked it
I
up.
don't know.
Oh, I forgot. Okay, it doesn't matter who they're from. Okay, it is a cooperative game. It's a space varying game. You go to planets, you interact with the people on the planets, you do space battles. I mean, this is literally everything you want in a Star Wars. Andy, I know you don't got a veto, but you got to listen here, man. You like Star Trek. I mean, you like Star Trek, so like you might appreciate how close this is, and kind of like a cooperative Lord of the Rings game. This is you might get the same feels for it. But anyways, ISS Vanguard, big story game in space, Star Trek the board game. So
it's a lot of it's basically Star Trek with the serial numbers filed off.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you guys got? Hold up those signs, Andy. I want to see if you approve this or not. All right, Chris, what you got? Yeah,
You know he's gonna prove it. He's not gonna use a veto already.
I knew I was gonna prove that one. Thank you,
Well, I
thank
would
you.
prove that anyways because it actually sounds fun and interesting. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Wow,
All right,
what a mess. And man, very good.
Andy. You could just perpetually keep that one up.
Probably so.
All right, John. What do you have?
All right, I'm gonna go to the one that I thought about doing last time. But I think you guys are gonna like this one, even though this one's another remake. And it's one that is not coming out on Kickstarter, and it's like very mysterious when this is gonna show up. I've talked to retailers, I've talked to people in the know. Nobody knows when this game's coming out. It's coming out from Simon. I'm hoping it's before Christmas, and that is Ethnos Second Edition. Because if you've played Ethnos, great game. Ugly as butt. That is one of the ugliest games ever.
Oh,
And
but it's not
this-
that bad.
It's
Some
pretty
people
bad,
like butts.
and they can't lie. But
that's actually
this one, the components, the board, the artwork, everything's been redone. But it looks like they did it right because they didn't. Now they redid this game as Archaeo Society, which I gifted to Andy, and we've yet to play it. Thank you, Andy.
Mhm.
But it takes it a whole nother direction. It's probably a good game, but it's not the same theme as Ethnos. And so I think this gets you that feel of Ethnos back with better components. And they even changed I know they changed the names of all the clans. They call them clans now instead of tribes or races or whatever they called them before. But I thought there was supposed to be a new one, but it still says there's 12. So they might have gotten rid of one of them, like the skeletons or something that, is a little bit lesser. And they added another one that has something to do with mercantile or something like that. Like they're money makers. I don't know what the deal. I don't know how they work or whatever. And all the boards are called something different, but it looks like they do something similar to the same. Like you have instead of giant things, there might be something else that you collect. But it looks like it's going to give you that same Ethnos feel with a lot more gratification with Outlook. So Ethnos Second Edition. That's definitely one that I want for Christmas.
Yeah, that Archaeo Society was a miss in a lot of ways for the remake because they got rid of the area control and they just went for like tracks or something like that.
They went for tracks, yeah.
Yeah.
And so plays a little bit differently. Yep. But
Yeah.
I'd still like to try to play it. I mean, it's
All right.
still fun. But
I love Ethnos. I'm up for it. A new beautiful version.
there we
would be
go.
great.
That's what I'm talking about. Very good.
So-
All right.
I want to talk real quick about that game. So I think it's a travesty that people say the game, the art is bad. And again, this isn't me being shtick and my thing and stuff like that. Like, I actually think the art is fine. It is a old school fantasy art style.
Yeah.
And people want this grand-esque mural painting anime crap these days. And
Not
so
anime.
they can't appreciate older art. But the actual art itself, for the style that it is fantastic. The absolute insanity to me is the colors of the tokens you put on the board. Like, I
My
don't
favorite part.
understand it. They're just weird neon colors that don't match anything, and that's the real problem. I feel if those colors were actually normal, in fact, I can't wait until the new edition comes out. I'm going to buy an old edition copy and then spray paint them correct colors, and I think it's going to be fantastic. But like look, I'm not joking here. If I had more ambition with this channel and such, and I was getting paid the kind of money that Shut Up and Sit Down is, I absolutely would do what Quinn's does and do hard-hitting journalism, and I would reach out to the publisher and be like, please, I just need answers. Why did you choose the colors of these things? I don't understand it. It's so baffling. There's nothing that's baffled me more about
So, point of clarity.
production choices in a game ever in my life.
Point of clarity. It's more
blows my mind.
It's more pastel than neon. First of all,
Okay.
and second of all, it's not that bad.
You are absolutely wrong.
I like them.
Yes. Well, not only that, and to me, the cards are fine to me. That's like the only part I don't mind. The board is ugly. It's hideous.
The board is
and
ugly.
the chips, just the quality of the chips and how they stack and all that, and they're knocking over all the time. And yes, the colors of them as well.
The chips
it's all
are fine.
cheap.
Nothing's
it
wrong
gives
with the
you a
chips.
cheap, cheesy feeling. You're not
No,
going to get down the
with
whole
chip
game.
towers.
Yeah,
Are you
they're
having
pretty
cats
bad.
jump up on your board? Because I've never had a problem with them falling over.
I
Yeah,
have
I've
thick
never had that
fingers. I have thick fingers. I'm knocking stuff over all the time.
Apparently, have a thick head because you get bad dexterity too. Apparently.
Mhm.
All right,
anyway.
Chris, let's move this along. What is
All
your
right,
choice?
Okay, so all right, I'm gonna go with the newest in the Terra Mystica series, Age of Innovation. There's not a whole lot of a setup here. It's the newest. I'm not usually the newest is the best, as we all know, but there are some changes here that have fixed things. Instead of your race determining a lot of different things, with Age of Innovation, they've broken it up into 3 different things. So you draft 3 different things, and so now the chance or now the options in every play is exponentially even more random, or random but different, right, so to speak. It's not random, you choose, but every play is absolutely different because each person has 3 different defining qualities that makes their race or clan or whatever you want to call it. Their
So if
player
you're
powers.
white, you just get natural advantages, I guess.
No, you have all the advantages of what I've been told. Anyways, but yeah, so Age of Innovation.
All right. This kind of goes against what I felt like this list should be. It's not out of print. It's not big and fancy, but I like the concept of that game, so I'm gonna let it through. I can't use my last veto on that one. Well done,
go.
Chris.
I actually, so I'm a big fan of the Gaia Project. I have not played Terra Mystica, but I like Gaia Project a lot, so I'm excited to try this one. So I approve. I approve.
Nice. Okay. Well, that was our number 7, so we got 8.
Man,
9, 10,
we're already up
3
to
more
7?
left.
Look at
Yeah,
us
we got
go.
3 more.
Ooh, 3 left, and there's 2 vetoes out there.
Let's go.
Don't leave those
All right.
vetoes there to dry.
I'm going to put this one out there. This one is a little bit. We've kind of gone heavy here recently, and so I'm going to lighten things up a little bit. I'm going to go with this game, which I've played a few times now, and I have a game that's similar to it, but I think I like it better than the game I have. And the game I have is called Wild Tile West. The game I want is called Planet Unknown. And I really enjoy Planet Unknown. It's got the polyomino pieces you're placing. You are working with some different tracks to move things up, and then you also have the fact that you've got the in the middle you've got a lazy Susan that the pieces are in, and you spin it around and select your different pieces. It's a really satisfying game. I really enjoy it, and I think it's not too long, not too crazy, and it belongs under the Christmas tree. That would be Planet Unknown.
All right. I'm gonna let it through. Veto. I mean, I'm not gonna veto it. Planet Unknown's a great game. It takes these tile laying games and kind of
Chris
raises
is really
it to a
waiting
new
a
level.
while.
So
What?
Thank you, Chris.
I'll
Appreciate
let
you.
it through because I didn't absolutely hate my life playing it, but I wasn't real excited. But I was like, you know what? I'll give it another try.
yeah, you should give that another try. Honestly, I think this is one of the better games that came out in the past couple of years. I really do. It's really simple to understand. There's a lot of strategy in there too. A lot of things going on all at once.
Yes.
The different player mats also kind of add a new diversity. What Chris and I think what we did wrong is we did randomize our corporation side and our map side, and we realized that was not a good thing because
Do they not congeal very well?
they don't, because if they get matched up poorly, then you can your corporation can be anti the planet you're on, and I think that's what happened to Chris. So I think that was
could be
an
a
error
problem.
on my
That's
end.
not good. Then you got to just basically choose one way to go, and everybody else
I
can
think so,
score
and I
points
think
2
it said
different
that in the
ways. So
rules.
yeah, that's not
Yeah.
good.
I thought that's what happened to Randy. For me, it was just like, I don't know, it just
maybe it
wasn't
was
like
Randy.
just didn't really blow my mind. I was just like, but
And it plays 6 players too, which is
Yeah,
also
that's
really
what's
great.
cool.
It's a really cool
Because
plays
you're
quickly,
playing them at the same time, so
simultaneous.
it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
there's not much downtime. So yeah.
Yeah, no,
Or-
great choice, Andy.
with
Thank
the
you.
6-player qualifier, it's pretty good for a 6-player player. That's fair.
Which, by the way, Ethnos also does 6 players.
Correct.
Does.
All right,
Look at
guys.
that. We're being real generous with 6-player
Look at
games. on this list. I like it.
Well, I mean, that does make a good president. It makes everybody want to play it, just like
That's right.
everyone should want to play this next game. This next
What do we
game
got?
is my obligatory Marvel game. But listen here, this one is one of the better ones. This is Marvel Dice Throne, X-Men Dice Throne specifically. I have the Marvel one, but I need the X-Men one, guys. I backed this on Kickstarter, and literally The reason
Yes, Chris, I love you. I love you. Yes, thank you.
No, the art is beautiful. I gotta tell my
said,
story though.
"Save your breath."
I gotta tell my story though here, okay? This is okay. I was like, okay, I'm gonna back this game, and I backed like 3 other games, and then I got this like message online that was like, hey, there's a board game store going out of business, and everything is 90% off. And I go, you know what? I know this is a scam, but if I miss out on this opportunity, then I'm the sucker. So I was like, also I work for a bank, and I was like, you know what? I want to see what happens if I actually like fall for a scam and how the process looks. So I had a reason.
You were checking out the security department to see how.
I kind of was. So I went ahead and bought it. Immediately, within 5 minutes, my bank flagged it and said it was a scam, and I was like, okay. So I had to get a new card. But because of that, I lost the ability to back 3 games because I forgot to go back to Kickstarter and update
In that
my
short
card.
amount of time.
Oh, no.
And that was one of them, and I was like, no.
So actually, it saved you money in the long run, didn't it?
It actually did.
There you
Except
go.
for now, I might have to pay 2 times the price to get the game that I was going to buy because I really, really want Dice Throne X-Men edition. The art is beautiful, guys. It's one of the best comic book board game art out there, and the Dice Thrones is a great game. It's like King of Tokyo. You roll dice and you're trying to make up sets, and then when you make up the sets, you can like play cards from your hand to power those dice. Well, whatever, Chris, you're a hater because it's
Chris, I'm very pleased with you.
So
I would have approved it, Daniel. That's one I've been wanting to play. So that sounds pretty cool.
Marvel is certainly a trigger just because, again, you have like the thickest rose-colored glasses I've ever seen for anything Marvel. The only thing you've even had any absolute like clarity about is that one game that was just absolutely broken. What was it?
Yeah,
called?
Age of Heroes. Oh,
no, was that the
Yeah.
one? I don't know. Whatever. There was.
yeah, that's
so.
what it's called. It's
Short
X-Men
of that
Age
one,
of
that's
Heroes.
the only one. All the other ones are
looked good.
terrible. You're like, it's great because it's Marvel, right? So I was already a bit triggered, but I was like, all right, it's fine. And you're like, and then it's Dice Throne. I was like, I'm out. I hate that game. It's not fun. So I was just like, oh nope, we're doing this. So I save it.
I'm glad it got vetoed for the pure reason that we can't allow Daniel to have 3 games on the list.
I mean, that would have been a shame.
You could say it's correcting to the mean just in the other direction because he's not had many on the other ones. So
That's right.
That's true.
But now I'm the
That's
last
true.
one with the vote, and only 2 of you get something on the list. So I kind of wish I would have went with my other one. Now I'll tell you guys what it is.
Well, maybe you'll get to do it on your next. Maybe you'll get another try.
No, I won't. Mathematically, won't
maybe
happen.
one of us will pass. Maybe one of us will pass.
Maybe.
Oh, and I'll pick unmatched again.
It's a very good chance one of these guys only had like 3 games left or 3 games on their list to start with. So
That's true. Good point.
But anyway,
Actually, Daniel did get 2 games on here already, didn't he? Or 3
I think I've gotten
games?
3.
You've gotten 3 in already.
Isn't that
Jeez.
crazy?
Yeah.
Wow.
What can I say? I got good taste.
Could you let him get
the
that stupid family game on there?
It's
Jeez.
no.
I'm
Time's
not
up is
sure about
wonderful.
Blood Bowl team manager still. I'm still concerned about that.
it's not a good.
It's good. It's great. Don't let these haters hate. All right,
John, what you
All
got?
right. Well, here we go. This is a game that I've actually played. It's one that was out of print for a long time and was very expensive. They recently reprinted it, and I played it once, and I was terrible at it. So it might be one of these games that I really like that I'm really bad at, which I don't mind. If I like playing the game and I'm bad at it, that's fine. And that game is Obsession. It first came out in, I think, 2018, was out of print, just got reprinted, and I played it once recently-ish, like within about the last month and a half, and I thought it was amazing. It's speaks to me with the thematicness of it, and I love the Victorian time that it's set in, and basically you're trying to be a big honcho. You want your name to be up there in the upper echelons of the upper crust. And so you're trying to get people to come over to your house and entertain them, and different guests that you have in your house are going to have different things that, all right, it's already in, are going to have different things that they do for you, but they might have things that they do against you. You might have rich people from the Americas come over, and man, now they're throwing their money around. So now you got money to hire people or whatever, but they drag down your reputation because they made their money in hog jowls or something. And so nobody likes that. They're not the good old money from England. So thematic, everything you do in it's thematic. And there's really not much you can do as far as like, you can kind of plan your turns ahead of time, except for if somebody else wants another room that you're trying to get that or something like that. For a lot of times you need that downtime between turns because you're like, okay, what guys do I have? What guests can I get? Well, I could do this again. It took me almost my whole round just to kind of figure out, okay, this is going to be my best move. And then, so it's almost has the perfect amount of downtime too in a game. So, well, I haven't played with Andy, so then you probably have too much downtime. But other than that, and it's plays in, what is it? 30 to 90 minutes. It says. I don't know how you
Yeah,
ever
90
played
minutes. 30
The
solo.
weight says 309. It didn't seem that heavy to me, but
Yeah.
maybe I just don't have a good grasp on it.
John, since I'm the only one with a veto left, I approve
Yes.
that one, and I mostly
Thank you.
approve it because one, well, it's a good game, that's why I approve
Yeah.
it. But two, I think this appeared on one of our other lists, and I really
Yes,
hope
it
it was
did.
Andy who vetoed it and not you. But we'll check the
It
tape
was not
right
me.
here. All right, guys, let's get your votes. What you got? I think this is gonna be my first one on the list. Come on.
No, Andy likes to veto yours.
Oh,
Oh, I hadn't approved. Everybody else was in approve.
Andy, you're
Daniel,
so vindictive.
I am
He
very
is.
vindictive, and let me just say this: since
You put the
you
in
hosed
vindictive.
me, I had to hose you back, and we are never ever getting back together.
Okay.
But Andy, you held up a sign that said we should play with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I think it would be great to play with Taylor.
Yeah, tell me about that. That is the most egregious veto in all of our top 10 lists, guys. His obsession with Taylor Swift was vetoed out of pure hatred and spite, and I am glad I have one more veto left to use on Andy. Wait.
Oh,
Dang,
or
I
on
have to use
Chris
that
is
veto.
first. Chris is first.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay, well, Chris, what do you got, man? It better have Marvel in it or something.
So I'm in a very interesting situation. Obviously, there's one spot left. There's one veto left. So here's my thought process. I'm gonna put up what I am gonna want with my heart. First of all, I have a
I
feeling
feel so
it will get
powerful right
vetoed.
now.
But here's the upside: if it does get vetoed, then my Christmas present to Andy already taken care of because he's been given another chance for a pick for a game. So I'm gonna go with the heart. This was what I said from the very beginning of my brain that I was gonna do late in the game, try to sneak in. And it's because it's on brand. It's because I've done it in all the other ones. So we're going with 18 Royal Gorge. This is a I know, I'm aware.
Already vetoed.
This is actually the reason I'm putting it on here is also because it would have to be a Christmas miracle that I would get it because it actually just recently finished on Kickstarter. So, but yeah, it's a really cool. Did I talk about it on the last episode?
You talked about it a couple episodes ago, I think.
Just backed it and stuff like that. So yeah, no,
Yeah.
I really do. I'm excited about it because it should play pretty quick, and it's got the extra gold and silver market that changes the gameplay. So I think it's really cool. So I put it here because I got to have an 18XX. I'm very sad that we've now had a Christmas Grinch situation. We don't have an 18XX game on the list unless Andy wants to give me the Christmas present of all time and designate any 18X game. I'll take one that I already own even. That's fine.
You know, Chris, as your fellow 18XX player, I'm mostly doing it out of principle, man.
I understand.
Like, we can't have it on every single list. I'm drawing a line here. You spent 10 minutes last episode talking about Royal Gorge. We have to put it in.
Yeah.
This is an intervention. Me and Marvel, you and 18XX. Let's go.
Funny
Part of
thing,
me-
when we're prepared for the show, I was like, oh no, how many 18XX games is Chris going to have on there? But I was like, wait a minute, if he owns them, he doesn't want them for Christmas, so maybe there'll only be one. And yeah, thankfully there was only one.
The problem is, John, I own 5 and there's like 200 of them. So
Then I was thinking that he doesn't own 100 of them. Yeah,
Exactly.
So there is a very great temptation here
To put something garbage.
to put Ticket to Ride up.
Oh
Because
no.
I could be like, well, that's an 18XX game, right, Chris? I know he hates it so much, but I'm not gonna do that because I won't do that to the fans. I would do it to Chris, but I won't do it to the fans.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
But yeah,
also,
if you
have the worst game on the list, that there's consequences, right?
that's
No,
true.
it's also
We
true.
lose 2 points to start off with the next episode.
Oof.
So you don't want to start in the hole.
That's the rumor anyway.
That's right. And we determine that by you, the viewer. Go out there and vote on this list and tell us which one was the worst pick. Not the ones that got vetoed, because we already took care of those. We got to talk about the ones that got on here, because we got to punish those who, actually put on games on there that shouldn't have been on there. Like something that John put.
It's a kid's game.
No, family game. So Andy, if you want to put Ticket to Ride on there, that's your fate. That's your fate.
I will not do that. I will not tempt the fates. As much as it would give me joy to just troll Chris with that so hard.
That would have been really good. That would have been really
yeah.
good.
I kind of wish you just would have went into it.
I'm going to go with what was on my list, and it's another game that's been around for a while. It's from 2015, so it's not new. It's not the new hotness. It's been around for a while. I've never owned it. I've played it a few times, and I've always enjoyed it. It's maybe overlooked a little bit. It's called Broom Service. I really enjoyed the game Broom Service. Do you guys not like that game? You're not a
No,
fan?
it's all right.
What's the
I
reaction,
played it.
Dana?
Fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
fine.
That's like the mess pick of all of these. All
It
of these
is.
we
That's
at least
about
can
that.
no, because look at
on.
all of these we could go. No, I've heard that's a good game. Or why did you pick that? That's crazy. This one's just like oh,
Yeah.
really? That's your last one? That was your pick?
It's
Okay.
fun. It's a fun game. It's on my list. I've wanted it always.
No,
so.
you're right. I do actually
Really?
enjoy it, Andy. Do you want to? Have you guys have John and Chris? Have you guys played it?
Oh yeah,
I
several times.
played
It's
it
a
long
fun
time
game.
ago. So wait, I swear you've owned this game, Andy. Did you own it and
I
sell
thought
it?
you
Now
had
want it
too.
back?
No, I don't think so.
I
don't
have it.
think so.
Maybe you still have it and you don't know it.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I still haven't. I don't know it, but no, I don't know. It's just one of those things that I thought of. I was like, well, I really liked that game, and I've played it a few times.
Wow.
Do you want to explain it a little bit?
No,
Okay, cool.
but you can.
It's
I mean, it's area movement, hand management, pick up and deliver.
Yeah.
You play
Or
your
you have
cards
it pulled up there.
simultaneously.
Yeah, but the coolest part about it is like that pressure luck thing, because you can take a easy action and a hard action, and if you take an easy action, you're guaranteed it. But if you take a hard action, anybody after you can take the hard action, and it removes yours. So it's kind of
Mhm.
pressure luck. It's like, oh well, did Chris pick the same action as I did? Because if he didn't, I'm good. So I'm gonna go with the big action, and then Chris reveals and says, "Oh, I went that way too," and you're like, "No, I should have went with."
Dang
the
it,
easy
Chris.
one." Yeah, Chris always ruining my life.
God,
And
So-
nothing says Merry Christmas like witches and fairies.
that's
right.
true.
So there you go.
That's right.
Like elves,
All right.
really.
Well, with the last few minutes that we have, guys, we should go over our honorable mentions real quick. So I'll
Okay.
start. These are the ones that did not get on the list. So I had my troll pick, okay, but I decided not to go with it because I felt like I wanted to be a little bit more in spirit with this list, and that was Uncanny X-Men Alert Adventure. And the reason that was going to try to make it on my list is because, listen, if you want to get me a game for Christmas, that's the one, because it's a 1990s game and it comes in this like there's like 3 games in this series, and that's the only one I am missing, and I really do actually want it, and it's not that expensive. I could probably buy it on eBay. I actually ran into it once, but there's like a big tear in the middle, so I was like, I'm not gonna get that one. And then the other one was a game that's coming out soon, and it's called Alte, and it takes Tyrants of the Underdark.
Pig
and
Latin
brings
game?
it- What's that?
Is it a Pig Latin game?
Exactly. No, Alte, it takes Tires of the Underdark and it takes it to one level higher. So it's like a deck building game where you're doing area control on the board, but some of the cards you lay down are actually you're gathering resources as well, and you have to build the card as you go. So some of the cards are like deploying troops, some cards are attacking, some are actually building things from other cards that you have in your hand. So just seemed like a really cool idea. The art is also beautiful. It was on my most anticipated games of this year. And I think it's going to release at the very end of December. So those were my 2 that I did not get to mention.
So I have a question.
Sounds
about
like
this,
sounds
and
like an ood gay, aim gay to me.
I actually have a question about this about this and Tyrants of the Underdark. Is it actually a deck builder, a la
Yes.
Dominion, or is it a deck builder?
Okay. I don't know about
It's more deck builder than you're thinking of like Lost Ruins of
Ark,
Arnak
no.
or
Correct.
Dune Imperium. It's more deck builder than that for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, Tyrants definitely. I don't know about Alte, but Tyrants definitely is. Chris, I know your stupid comments about it. This is a deck builder. Trust me.
Cool.
All right, John. What is your honorable mentions?
I had a couple of them. One of them was Wondrous Creatures, which we had
Okay.
briefly discussed a couple times on this show. It just came out this last year. I think when we had Sarah Shaw
Sarah
on,
Shaw.
that was like one of her big games for the year. And I actually had the chance to get it earlier this year, but I really wasn't in a position to spend the money on it at the time. And I was like, but it's a good deal on it, and it's the big deluxe. It's one of those games where you want the big deluxe because it has all the really cool stuff with it and everything. And so it's about you stumble across this island and you're discovering the creatures on it and stuff. And so that's the theme. But it's basically a tableau building, Euro type game. But a lot of fun little guys that you're riding around and on your creatures and stuff, and it looks pretty cool. So that one looks fun. But then the other one I had was The White Castle, which is one that probably some of you even own, from Devere, just came out last year. And it's, I mean, not really heavy. 302, I guess, is what it is. But the worker placement and the dice placement, I always love that kind of stuff. The dice placement and the different thoughts of what you're going to do with those. That and the little bridges you put them on. I mean, it looks like it'd be fun to play.
I own that one and it is fun. We should play it sometime.
Yeah, we definitely need to play it at least, even if I don't get it. But
That game
so
falls into the
those were
category
my 2
of
honorable
games.
mentions. I think they would have both made it on the list probably if I would have nominated them. But
Gotcha. White Castle is definitely a game that falls in the category of why does John like this game? Like I can't figure out John's taste. He's all over the place. That
That's
one's
true.
the epitome of that.
Really? Why? Because it doesn't seem very themeful, or
It's not very thematic. It's a little
Yeah.
heavier Euro-y. I just don't see what's there that appeals to John, the John that I know. But
I can't
it
say it every
surprised me
time.
all the time.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. I am a conundrum.
Yep. All right, Chris, honorable mentions.
So I only
Other
have
than
one
1800 games.
that I actually wrote down that I was like really kind of stood out for me. I mean, honestly, to make this list, I just went to BGG and went to page 1 and started scrolling down. I'm like, oh, there's some games that I like, I've never owned or whatever. So real quick, something I noticed, by the way, the game that is absolutely a game that we've tried to decide if it is a game or not on the show many times is number 49, by the way, Crokinole.
Crokinole!
You know, just letting you know, it's 49 now. It blew my mind. I didn't even know it was in the top 100 ever. So
Did it pass up horseshoes or bowling?
Those are not on there. Those are not on there. But I don't know if it's the Mayday Kickstarters they keep doing every year, but either one way or another, it's now number 49.
I like to think it's around the board talking about it all the time.
That's probably what it is.
Heck
I
yeah.
got that around the board bump. I appreciate that. I'm all for it. So anyway, so I flipped down and just went, I got 5 or 6 now, so that's enough. So the only one that I haven't talked about yet that was on my list was Fields of Arle. I actually played that for the first time this year, and man, that game, like, it's a fantastic 2-player game. Like, it's up there with Seven Wonders Duel for me. Like, that game is it is what Agricola should have been. Like, I feel like a farmer playing that game. So
that surprises me that you still hate Feast for Odin so much, but you like that because
yes, there's a lot of things you can choose, but they're still like it feels condensed down and more streamlined than like just a table full of stuff. Like that other game that was it Unconscious Mind? Yeah, Unconscious Mind that you put up, John, right? I looked at the picture and I was just like, I have sensory overload. I don't want to play this game. There's so much stuff going on. Like I feel like the table hog thing, I feel like that's something that like our community has decided to like turn a blind eye to, because all the games nowadays are table hog. Like, I feel like it was something that was put down, and then we're like, oh no, let's be woke and expand our minds and let our tables be full of stuff and that not be a problem, because that's what I feel like all those games are these days, that they're like just covered in crap.
Don't you mean table hog?
That is true. Correct.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's the table hogness, I guess, best way to describe it. Why Feast for Odin is just to me.
You messed it up again. Table hog.
One question: is it Fields of Arle or Fields of Arle?
Arle. It's Arle.
Great question.
Are you sure? Sure, it's not pronounced Arle?
No.
Okay.
Not sure, but I'm gonna say yes.
I mean,
learn English, John.
It's universally accepted as Arle, but I guess we could get Yui on the show and find out.
Uwe, you mean?
Uwe, Yui, whatever. I don't know.
All right, Andy, what are your honorable mentions? And then take us out.
I actually, my honorable mention is one I actually probably should have put on instead of Broom Service, to be honest. I just forgot about it. And that was Clank Catacombs.
Which
there you go.
By far the best Clank out there.
That's the legacy one.
All right. Let's switch them out.
It's not the legacy one. We could switch it. I mean, I was the last pick. I have the right to do that still.
Better than the Hunger? I don't know.
You can take back your turn. I mean, no one has went after you, so
no one's gone after me.
No new information has been revealed.
Clank Catacombs is not the legacy one, no, Chris, but it is one where you build your map as you go by flipping tiles. So you got a little bit of a
that does sound cool.
Dungeon crawler, Carcassonne type feel with Clank, which is a lot more fun than regular Clank, because regular Clank, it's the same map every time.
And you just kind of did the same thing. You dived in, got to the corner, and got out. Like there was no variation.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Catacombs is a lot of fun.
That's a much better game to choose than Broom Service.
I'd agree.
Well, I'll leave it up to Randy. He's the one with the magic controls over there. It's over. It's over. Broom Service is a good game, though. It is a good game.
It is good,
despite what you guys say.
Sure.
All right. Well, guys, Merry Christmas to all of you. I hope you enjoyed our list. John started the episode off by saying this would be a very helpful list. I'm still not confident we have done that. But I think if you have real gamers in your life, I do think any of these could be good for them, but it has to be, of course, the right gamer. So...
I mean, the table always still decides it, right? But again, like that's what I was saying is like we're a fairly diverse table, right? So if this gets through, then maybe the games that there was 2 vetoes on, maybe watch away from those. I mean, obviously they didn't even make the table, they didn't even make the list, right? But so I don't know, but yeah, if it looks good to you, I think, then you have a fairly good odds-on chance that it's going to go over well at the table, right? So.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to all, and.
Yes.
Guys, I look forward to playing games with you in the next year.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Do you want to take
That's
us out, or you want me to read it?
Go for it, man.
Thanks to all of our wonderful viewers out there. Remember to tap those like and subscribe buttons. Also, be sure to join our Facebook group Around the Board. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, we're on all the podcasts, so follow us there as well. You can send us emails to mail@aroundtheboard.net or reach out to us on X or Facebook. That's really the best one. Also, leave comments down below. Hansa's always looking for those critical comments, so make sure you let us know all your disdain you have for John and Chris. Thanks, guys, and until next time, we'll see you around the board.
I should have nominated Ghosts of Christmas. That's a Christmas.
Oh,
Christmas
yeah,
game.
12 days. 12 days is a good card.
This
But I
miniature
already
is
have
green.
it, so I really could put it.
That's Christmas
same here.
colors, right?
Daniel, I completely forgot Obsession had been nominated before on a list when I put it on
I
there.
know. And vetoed.
I was wondering what your reaction was. I'm like, what? Do you hate Obsession?
I mean, just keep pushing it through. It's going to go through eventually. Like, I know how to have customer service.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Are you
actually.
sure? Yeah. Let's ask our viewers at home.
Yeah.
Well, they are not my customers. They have not bought anything from me in any way, shape, or form. If you want to send me dollars, I'll be super nice. I'll tell you that you are doing it right by
Here's
only buying the new games and doing all the bullcrap. Until you give me dollars, I have no reason to not be a jerk to you.
I don't know. I just can see walking into Chris's game store and going, "Hey, do you know?" No, we don't carry any new stuff.
Don't even ask.
Oh, do you? Is this a good game? I don't know. Why don't you find out? Buy it.
Yeah.